Transitioning to motherhood is hard for any mom. But for Emily,
it was just terrifying. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had to change schools. I had to take a bus across town. And I would remember I would be throwing up on the side of the road before the bus came and then puking on the side of the bus stop when I got dropped off downtown. Because the way that I could stay in school was to go way across town on the other side of town, and I couldn't drive. I was too young to drive. I was a freshman. I was 14.
This is the How She Moms podcast with Whitney Archibald. I'm a mother of 5 on a mission to help moms connect with your kids, manage your homes, and create your own unique version of motherhood. I curate ideas from different moms so you can pick and choose what works for you and your family. Emily has been my friend since childhood, and I couldn't admire her more. She's tenaciously committed to her children, works incredibly hard, loves deeply, and, as a bonus, has a fabulous laugh and is one of the best singers I know. I was so grateful she was willing to share her story about transitioning to motherhood at an age where most of us are just starting to figure out who we are, let alone how motherhood fits into that identity. I started our interview by asking what she thought when she first found out she was pregnant.
Honestly, all I kept thinking that everybody would put abortion into your head, and I was just going, I guess that's what you do. And I just struggled with it. And I knew a lot of girls that had done it. And I heard horror stories, and I just couldn't imagine doing it, but I thought I was going to have to. I actually went to the doctor's office.
Really?
And I turned around and I just said, I can't. He's in there.
Oh, that gives me the chills.
Yeah, I just was like, there's a spirit in there, though. Whatever you guys say, that it's just a little piece of, it's just a molecule, or it's just a cell. I was just like, but I can feel him in there. I can't do it, And so we turned around and came up with a plan. And
what happened? What was the situation exactly? Because I'm fuzzy on it. So you were pregnant. You were living with your mom.
I was, and then it was very, God, it was so bad back then. I mean, it was like a nightmare. The pregnancy was really awful. It was terrible. I was sick all day long. It was a real wake-up call.
You have such a tiny body anyway.
It was like, I felt like, oh, okay, this must be what it feels like to have chemo, because I couldn't keep anything down. And I had to change schools. I had to take a bus across town. And I would remember I would be throwing up on the side of the road before the bus came, and then puking on the side of the bus stop when I got dropped off downtown. Because the way that I could stay in school was to go way across town on the other side of town, and I couldn't drive. I was too young to drive. I was a freshman. I was 14. And I took the bus across town, did all that, and then walked up this huge hill. It was way on the top of this hill, and they had a program, and I don't think they have it anymore, and it was called the TAM program. It was the Teenage Mom Program. And we were put in the side of the school where the retarded kids were. We were over there with the special ed on that corner of the school. And they would walk by all the time and they would try to sneak and see if they could see boobs if we were breastfeeding or something. And they would be laughing if they could get a peek inside the room where we were. It was we were an experiment. We really were. We used to get paid actually for all these weird things. I remember at UCSC one time they paid us to go up there into one of their classes. I don't remember what class it was, but they paid us to just go and be on a panel and bring our babies, and so they could ask questions, because they just thought we were rare specimens. It was so funny, and we were all excited because they were going to give us $50 or something to be able to go up there, and we got to get out of class and go up there with the babies and walk around. But they also showed us around, and that is the most beautiful campus. It's so beautiful. It overlooks the whole bay. It's so beautiful. And they showed us the family like wing where the families would stay, and there was family housing, and they showed us around, and I just thought, oh, I want to go to UCSC.
I always wanted to go to college and get an education, get my career going. I was on that track. I was on that track the whole time, especially from 14 to, going, walked around the colleges, and I was ready for all that. I went, okay, I'm going to go to college, all of this stuff. I'm going to have a career. I was a go-getter.
And she did start college, and we'll get to that. But first, I asked her what it was like taking care of little Christopher when she was still a kid herself.
Yeah, we were just together. We just ran around all day. I didn't have any money, but I knew how to stretch $20 for a week here. That was such a magical phase as far as just between me and my kids, because I could just block everything out. I could block all of our other family problems out and focus everything onto them. I thought I was going to homeschool him. I would just all day, we would go to every free day at the library because that was fun. We'd do story time at the library. I remember Thursdays was really fun time, and we had this adorable little library, and it was on an inlet across this lake across the street from the beach, and it was on the lake, and we would feed the ducks, and that was our every Thursday day, and we would just run around to all the beaches and take walks on all the cliffs and go to the monarchs. And we have a magical, town we're in Monterey Bay. And so we would that was our life. We just ran around town all day, and I was very focused on teaching him how to read, and we just would read a ton of books all day and at night, and do our stories and sing songs and run around to all the beaches and have play dates and stuff.
Through all of this, of course, she was still going to high school, and then
right out of high school I went right into college, but then on birth control I got pregnant with triplets. Apparently one of them got absorbed. By the time I went back, they said, it's twins.
Gosh.
Could you imagine? Oh, I couldn't even imagine having three. Because honestly,
I can't imagine
are
having two, to be honest.
Well, the thing about two is, you have two hands and you have two boobs. So you can feed two. And there is no way. I know I couldn't, because I got so thinned out from breastfeeding two babies.
Luckily, Emily had a wonderful mother who helped her through both pregnancies, and she also had a lot to do with the twin thing.
100%. Without my mom, no. And my mom was behind all of, keeping them and everything. And she, we found out that I was pregnant on her grandma's birthday, who was the twin. That's where it all came from. And those grandparents, my great-grandma, they married twin boys. They married a set of twins. That's how we all have these dang twins. My cousin has twins. Yeah, all from this generation. There's two sets of twins just right within ours.
Unfortunately, Emily was not able to continue college with 3 children to take care of. And that was hard, but not necessarily the hardest part of the situation.
I mean, I gave up everything. Even friends, you meet your friends in high school. You have either your friends from elementary, if you've been in the same school, all the way up, or, junior high and then through high school. You meet your forever friends, a lot of people, And I just was home, and I would watch him go out, and that was really hard. I didn't mind giving up things and all of that, but it was hard to watch him be able to do it all, because he didn't give up anything.
Right.
And I just stayed home and watched. And it's still the same thing. But I'd say that was the hardest part, was just the relationship. It was really just, you wanted the family, the mom and the dad that stayed together and had all of that. But it just didn't happen. It's weird how cycles work like that. It is really weird, because I did everything to stop that cycle. Everything I could possibly do and sacrifice and give up. Everything. I mean, there was nothing I didn't do. But you have to realize you can't change anyone,
Right.
That just is the way it is. You can only do your best. And that's
you
all I can leave saying I did.
Yeah, you have done phenomenally, the whole time through.
And boy, did she work hard raising those kids.
I was a total hippie natural mom before this was even in a movement, like before it was even the thing to do. I was doing all of the natural foods and everything before it was even like in the stores. I would find the one store that had everything and spend a little more on wherever we could and then sacrifice somewhere else, and like my kids used to walk around, and this was 20 years ago. They used to tell people, "Oh, we can't have those crackers or those chips. Those have hydrogenated oils in them. We can't have those." And they would tell, "Those are bad for us." And everybody would just laugh because it was not even like a known thing. I read it in some doctor's office or something, and I put two and two together, and I went, "Ew, it's in every garbage prepackaged food anyways," And it was just I tried everything. I really did. And then when they went to school, I realized I couldn't homeschool Christopher. It just got my house was too small. I had only a 2-bedroom, and they all shared a one little 10 by 10 room. And so my whole life was about organizing and trying to keep everything clean. And, that in itself, now that I have had a normal job, I'm like, that's the hardest job in the world.
And now, Emily is an empty nester at age 39, single and ready to start the next chapter of her life, armed with everything she's learned along the way.
I came here to learn that hard lesson and I realize every single time you get to a new place in life, you realize, that's why I had to do it. I had to get to this place. It's for the next lesson. It's for the next lesson.
Thank you for listening to the How She Moms podcast. If you like it, tell a friend. The bigger the community, the more ideas. There are lots of ways you can add your ideas to the How She Moms community. We have a Facebook group where we share ideas about upcoming topics and help each other solve problems we're facing in motherhood. You can also follow How She Moms on Instagram for quick tips and ideas. And you can go to howshemoms.com where you'll find transcripts of episodes and lots of other great resources. Special thanks to my mom, Susan Singley, for recording my theme music. She played this song all the time when I was growing up, and to me, it's the soundtrack of motherhood.